Donald Trump Jr. absolutely scorches Joy Behar and the rest of the View hosts after they completely go after him for supposedly revealing the identity of a whistleblower who was already completely revealed anyways. Yeah, guys, it's as absurd as it sounds, but you're gonna like it. It's a good video, all right? So we're gonna get right into it, but first, everybody, please make sure you like our video, share it around, and yes, subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel if you are new. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you. As always, I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into the clip.
You guys are here. We're going to get to Triggered the book in a moment and your relationship, but you did something that triggered a lot of people yesterday, including myself, by releasing the name of the whistleblower whose complaint has now led to impeachment hearings. The whole point of releasing a name is to intimidate someone, to threaten someone, and to scare other people from coming out. That's something that dictators do. I've lived in China. I've seen that firsthand. That's not what America does. That's not who we do. We stand by our people. Why did you want to release the name?
Listen, Abby, I think it's a fair question. You know, I think the reality of the answer is
not a fair question.
The whistleblower's name was on a little website called The Drudge Report a couple of days ago. It was in Real Clear Politics. I literally quote tweeted an article that had the guy's name in the title of the article. So that whole thing is nonsense. But I wish the outrage would be equal. I mean, there was no outrage when, my family got an exploding letter of, with white powder substance in it. They're protecting a guy, in the CIA, and there's great outrage. But when your family gets something, it's there. And that's a big part of the book, which is, it's not a level playing field in terms of outrage. We do live in an outrage culture.
He asked to be anonymous. Your family did not. There's a difference.
But it was literally millions of people, and for days he's been out there in the media.
But does that make it right?
So what's the difference between me tweeting about it?
It's different when the president's son does it, though, isn't it?
But why? I mean, I'm a private citizen putting this out there. If everyone in this room could have read this, I don't see any difference whatsoever. The reality is, it seems to me, and again, my point of view on this, it seems to me that everyone is outraged that his name is out there because now people are saying, okay, he's tied to Joe Biden while Joe Biden was working in the White House. He has ties to Brennan, who's been leading the cabal on Trump. It's not, let's be honest about what it is.
But just to be clear, that's not why I'm outraged. I'm outraged because I care about diplomacy in this country. I care about how we protect the people when they see a wrongdoing, that they go through the proper political channels and they are protected for doing that. So you can say that whatever outlet released it.
Let's not.
Okay, so she cares about diplomacy, yet she blatantly ignored what Donald Trump Jr. just said about how there are people literally sending potentially explosive substances to the family and threatening their lives. It's so transparently dishonest and fake. It's too obvious.
Get ourselves.
But the name has been out there for 5 days.
But that doesn't make it right.
But nevertheless,
But Abby, you guys, ABC is right now chasing down a whistleblower about all of the Epstein stuff because those stories were killed. So if we're going to have the conversation about the outrage about whistleblowers, you work with CBS, You work with CBS to out a whistleblower who came up with a story that's kind of shady.
Can we stick to...
No, but you work with them. That broke this morning. Can we stick
to...
And that's a fair point by Donald Trump Jr., but I think what's being left out is Donald Trump Jr. didn't even work with anyone to oust the guy. He literally just shared an article that was already published. That's literally what the whole controversy is about. Donald Trump Jr. shared an article that was already published about a whistleblower who was claiming that Donald Trump was engaging in quid pro quo, and there was some kind of illegal thing that he was doing with Ukraine. By the way, that whole impeachment was a hoax, but we'll get into that later. So, yeah, it's a really false point they're making and totally dishonest.
What she asked in the question, just because if we start getting off on 50...
But my point is one of hypocrisy. And again, a big part of why I wrote the book is because there's so much hypocrisy out there. Now, I understand that the mainstream media is left-leaning. I don't think anyone's ever debated that or doubted that for a long time. But they've gotten rid of the pretense of objectivity at this point. There is no, they're like, you know what, we're just going to be the marketing wing of the other side.
Just let me, if you talk about hypocrisy, you seem fine with people leaking information if it makes you and your father look good, because WikiLeaks
this has been
and
going
Julian
on for the other side
is
forever.
a cyber terrorist, right? And I think a Russian.
She clearly doesn't understand what the meaning of the word hypocrisy is. If Donald Trump Jr. is okay with information leaking that helps him, but then he doesn't want information leaking that helps Democrats, that just makes him smart in terms of how to do politics. That's not a hypocrite, okay? You might think it's morally wrong or cynical or whatever. That's fine. You can have that opinion, but it's not hypocritical. It just isn't.
Puppet You are fine promoting his stuff and your dad praising him on the campaign trail if it makes you look good. So how is this whistleblower who went through the right channels, how are you now releasing his name and putting his life in danger, but WikiLeaks was doing the right thing?
If I can, just first, thank you so much.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. So here's the thing. There's a lot of context to it, and I hear what you're saying. It's a fair enough question because he may be a private citizen, but nevertheless, he is the son of the president of the United States.
And a campaign surrogate.
And he's somebody who works as a campaign surrogate, but not officially, with the campaign. But nevertheless, when you look at this facts and you look at the circumstance, you look at, in fact, even on this show, the first day after the election, they said, and now let's start with impeachment. This has been something that's been going, it's been a concerted effort by a lot of people who are disappointed by the results of the election to undo it and remove a duly elected president of the United States, number one. Number two, when you look, well, it was on the show on November 9th.
No, actually, it was.
It's very obvious that from the start, this is about removing Donald Trump and something else. It's real simple, and the order goes a bit like this. First, they tarnish his reputation. Then, they try to impeach him. After that, they put him in jail. And then, the next step, well, yeah, they try to kill him. It really does work like that. And need I say more about recent events that might point in a certain direction? Yeah.
You guys talked about impeachment.
We've had all kinds of. Wait, I see. I listened. Now I'm asking for the same.
Sure.
We are an opinion show.
Correct.
That's what we do.
Correct.
What you seem to have done and feels very disingenuous because you can't say I'm a private citizen and yet you're in the middle of all of this. You brought to the FBI folks, everybody talked to you. You're part of this. So when you release a name like that, even if it was out for 10 days or 20 days, you have to know that people, if you're talking about the white powder that your family got, this guy's family's getting the same thing. And why is it okay for one and not both?
We don't know that that's actually happening to him. First and
well,
foremost.
we don't know that it happened to you.
But
we're taking your name. We're taking your...
It was reported.
It was a case.
Stop yelling. Stop yelling.
Not to yell. I can
He's
hear
we
you.
can
loud.
hear
It's
you.
like a miracle ear for
But
Christmas.
Kimberly, you're a lawyer.
Yes.
And we've known
Yeah.
each other. You were a former
Absolutely.
prosecutor. I mean, did you advise your boyfriend that it is a federal crime to out a whistleblower?
I didn't advise him that it was a federal crime, but I did come out of the bathroom and say I left you alone for 10
Totally
minutes.
false.
What happened when Mamacita's gone? Because by the
Well, it's not a federal
principles
crime.
reason.
It's only a federal crime for the IG to do it. That's
Yeah.
in the statute.
Well,
so that's you
well,
can't.
no, that's
but
not
that's the
true.
point. You can't
That's
run
a
with
lie.
it. It is not.
She's
true.
Let me show you the
That's
other
not
side.
true.
Let me show you the
Under
other side
US
of this.
Okay, stop. Everybody stop. It's hard to hear.
So Sunny Hostin just confirmed that she's completely against the First Amendment because she's saying it's a federal crime that Donald Trump Jr., to be clear, shared an article that had somebody's name in it. That's what he did. That's all he did. And that's what this whole ridiculous debate is about. That's a federal crime, according to Sunny Hostin now, the ever so intelligent lawyer. Man, if that's the quality of lawyers that are coming out of law school nowadays, the justice system is in big, big trouble. That's all I can say about that.
Under U.S.
So
Code
finish
Section
that.
1505, it is a crime.
It's not accurate. Just ask Rand Paul. He went
My
to
law
great
degree
detail
says it
on
is,
the
but
other.
nevertheless.
But he's not the individual that first was
But my question
I want to
is,
return that law degree.
you did speak to him about that.
I talked to him, no, not prior to. After I said, oh, what happened? He said, well, they're saying that I released this and I outed. But if you look at the facts, and the facts are that the name was out there, I'm not saying, okay, I understand what you're saying, that perhaps, okay, it wasn't the most prudent decision to retweet an article. But I'm going to tell you something. When we talk about transparency, the President of the United States released the transcript of exactly what happened in that phone call.
Yeah.
The whistleblower is giving his opinion or her opinion
Right.
of what transpired.
I'd like to talk about.
Yeah, totally true that Trump was transparent. You know who else was very transparent about their actions in Ukraine? Joe Biden. In fact, Joe Biden very infamously and arrogantly bragged about how he strong-armed the Ukrainian government into firing a prosecutor who was looking into alleged crimes committed by his son, Hunter Biden. This is back when Hunter Biden was working at that Burisma company, the energy firm, getting paid at least $400,000 a year, surely for his expertise in the energy sector, because Hunter Biden's got a lot of experience in that. Just kidding. We all know he has none, and it's a little fishy that he's getting paid that much. And all because Donald Trump said, hey, let's look into this a bit. I'm a bit curious. Now he's the criminal who's getting impeached, not Biden, who openly brags about how he got a Ukrainian government employee fired because the guy was investigating his son. It just goes to show you that this whole thing is different sets of standards for different political parties. Standards for thee, but not for me.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'd like to talk about that.
That's out there to say. He's not trying to hide anything. And thank God he transcribed it.
I'd like to talk
So now we
about
know
that.
the truth.
Actually, let me ask you, do you regret retweeting that?
Why does he?
You know, I don't
why does
think
he
I should
withhold
have to
his
forego
tax
my
return?
First Amendment rights. I didn't want to create hysteria, but if I'm reading an article, be like, oh, the name's out there. I didn't even realize
You
that
knew
this
what you
thing's
were
some sort of
doing.
big
So
sort
you
of
don't regret
secret.
doing that?
I don't regret doing it. No, I don't think I should have to forego my First
right,
Amendment
but
rights. It's out there. I read it in an article. I've been reading it for a week. I saw it on the Drudge Report. Like, this is not some secret, but to then say, because it's Donald Trump Jr., because he's an outspoken
this is
guy,
not a MAGA
to then
rally,
create,
okay?
why was there no outrage when Drudge Report, which is a major website, probably
down.
the largest aggregator of media news in America, he puts it out there a few days ago, and no, crickets, no problem with that.
Because
Come on, guys,
probably
like,
not a lot of people knew that it was out there. But once you put it out,
on Drudge. Well,
but here's
millions of people see
yes,
Drudge
but
Day.
I'm saying to you, listen, man, I don't know how many people here read the Drudge Report. I don't know, but I'm saying all those, a lot more people know your name than know the Drudge Report.
that's a
You're
fair point.
assuming.
He
I
has
know
a
it's a
high
fair
profile.
point.
I'd like, let's move on.
I understand. Move on.
I want to talk about the memo of the call, because I don't believe it's a transcript. In the memo of the call that was released from the White House between your father and the Ukraine president, your father said, I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot and Ukraine knows a lot about it. And we have the entire part of the memo here. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the Attorney General would be great. This is the basis of the impeachment inquiry. Why is that a sham?
It's a sham for the reasons we previously discussed about Joe Biden and how these Democrats have nothing to say about that at all. That transcript, that's grounds for impeachment? Okay. How about we go back and impeach everyone else then? We can start with Barack Obama with the Fast and the Furious scandal, where his administration quite literally gave guns to drug cartels, who they then used to go and kill people. But of course, we're not going to have a conversation about that, because this isn't about being fair or just. It's about a witch hunt against Donald Trump, and everybody knows it.
The whole
Which is
thing,
what you're calling
first of
it.
all, because nothing was withheld. The other guy on the other side actually said, I have no idea what you're talking about. No one knew any
What
aid
do you
was
mean
even
nothing
being
was
withheld. The other guy in the Ukraine, in terms of aid being withheld. So no one knew about these
But
things.
that's not true. That's a lie. Military aid was withheld.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one knew
Not
about
as-
it in
no,
the Ukraine.
not
So
as a quid pro
there
quo.
was no quid pro quo. You see all the other
wasn't.
aspects of
That's
this
a
coming
lie.
out.
It was withheld.
There's been no prima facie case made whatsoever.
But that's a lie. It was withheld. What is she, a parrot? Just repeating her same stupid, fake MSM talking point over and over again. We see through it, Sonny. We see through it.
For impeachment. The transcript is there. The witnesses are coming
but
forward. There was no
so you have a
bipartisan
lot of
support
opinion
for
going-
that hearing
But Kimberly,
going
the
forward.
military aid was
One at a
withheld.
time.
But not because of that reason.
And
And
again, the other
and the
side
nexus and
didn't
the
even
time
know that it
frame,
was
the
withheld at
timeline
the
has been
Can I
clearly
ask you this?
demonstrated.
But that's a
not the
lie.
case.
There have been
Can I
several
ask you this then?
ambassadors that have testified
Then-
that have
And there's others that have testified
that the
they had no
military
idea
aid
that
was
there was any
withheld.
quid pro
Let me
quo
ask you this.
whatsoever.
have to go to
Did
break.
Gordon Sondland lie then when he changed his
Wait.
testimony yesterday?
Well, I don't know why he changed his testimony. It's sort of interesting. It almost, he says something.
He's afraid of
on the
perjury.
record.
He's afraid of going to jail.
Or he's afraid of being attacked, like so many of us have for so long, by a vicious left that's running a
Oh,
one-sided
please.
sham thing.
Let's go to a
By
break.
Adam Schiff, who's doing a one-sided thing. Republicans can't question. They can't do-
Children. Stop yourself.
I think it was obvious there that the crowd was clapping and cheering for the wrong people, so Whoopi had to put a quick stop to that. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, I know it was a little insufferable, but I think Donald Trump Jr. mostly held his ground well, so that's great. Please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked, what you want to see next, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks so much, and God bless.